Howdy, y'all. So I'm doing something a little different today. I have a lot of chicken and I had a lot of apples. So I looked up chicken and apple recipes and I found a whole bunch of them. I didn't realize that baked chicken and apples was a thing. But I read several recipes and I've come up with my own take on this. So I've defrosted a whole frozen chicken and cut it in half. And I have chopped up and decored and chopped into large pieces the majority of a 3-pound bag of Granny Smith apples. I really only wanted 2 apples, but the price of the apples was such that it was better to buy the whole bag. So, in order to keep them from spoiling, I'm going to try this chicken and apple recipe. So I've got all these in here. This is probably 4 or 5 medium, small to medium, about like these sized apples, not real big apples. And then I sprinkled them with some apple pie spice. Not much, couple tablespoons, and then just tossed them around. So I've got this chicken here, and I've defrosted it, kind of let it dry a little bit, and cut it in half. And I am going to cover it in poultry seasoning. And the other thing that I'm working on over here is the honey mustard. This is a honey mustard version of the chicken and apples. So this is 2 kinds of mustard in here. And it is the Dijon mustard and just a yellow mustard. And then I'm also going to put honey in here. And I have some wonderful local honey, but it kind of crystallized, as raw honey tends to do. So I put it in the hot water. That's just some water straight out of the Keurig. And it is getting liquefied. So a little bit longer in the hot water and that'll be ready. So I'll put probably equal parts. This is probably 1/4 of a cup. In between 1/4 and 1/3 of a cup of each one of honey, yellow mustard, and Dijon mustard. And so I'm going to season this chicken with some of this poultry season, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have these seasoned really well on both sides, and I am just going to set them right here on the bed of apples, just like that, and the other half as well. Just like that. So we've got our seasoned chicken, the poultry season, on the seasoned apples. That's what I used, just apple pie spice on the apples and poultry seasoning on the chicken. So now I'm going to get my honey mustard sauce. Okay, so my honey is now nice and runny and not crystallized. So I have a combination of honey and regular yellow mustard and Dijon mustard. And I'm going to whisk these 3 together. And then I'm just going to simply pour this over the chicken and apples. Now, I've looked up several recipes, and some of them are really simple and some are really complex. But this seems to be an easy version of the honey mustard style of chicken and apples. Now, I have never cooked chicken and apples before, but since I had abundance of both, I thought I'd give it a go. So I'm putting this mainly on the chicken, as I think the apples will absorb the juice from underneath. And there we go. This is my recipe for roast chicken and apples with a honey mustard glaze. I'm going to cover this with aluminum foil and bake it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for probably about 2 hours. And I'll be sure and do a follow-up video showing the end result and letting you know how this turned out. Thanks for coming with me while I make a brand new recipe I've never made before. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you'll try a version of it yourself. Thanks for watching. Until next time, y'all be sweet.